Hey everybody, it's Danielle Damianov with Wind Down Wednesday, and I am here today with Neil Cresswell. He is the owner and founder of Sellstate, which is now a huge real estate company, right? Throughout the entire United States. You have franchises all over the place. And we're going to talk today a little bit about the economy and like the real estate markets and kind of where Neil sees everything going. But before we get there, why don't you introduce yourself, let everybody know a little bit about yourself and Sellstate and what you do.
Okay. I am originally from Canada. I've been in the real estate business for 37 years. Pretty big career. Started off as a mega agent at a very young age. Then I got into the brokerage business and ended up owning a lot of brokerages. Touched with getting involved with franchising of a Canadian company. My business partner got into that in a very big way, where he franchised one of the largest Canadian companies called Sutton Group, and he got involved in the corporate office of that. And we grew that to the second highest producing company in the nation. So we had a vision for a new national franchise. We wanted to bring it to the American market just because of the larger market, and we thought it was better suited for what our concept was. And we moved to Florida, packed our bags, and started Sellstate, which we're really happy. We've got about 80 offices in the United States today. We're growing, very, very well right now. Just starting to take off, actually. And yeah, so it's that's basically it.
I think the growth has been like seriously over the past, I want to say 5 or 7 years or so, just you've had like explosive growth. I mean, I just remember moving to this area, there was a couple Sellstates, and now I was out in San Diego not too long ago, and I'm seeing Sellstate out there. So you're pretty much all over the United States now.
Yeah, we're starting. We've got a long way to go, compared to a lot of the larger national franchises. But we're very happy with our growth. I think we've created something so unique in the marketplace that I think for most realtors, you think about opening a brokerage, it's like, oh, are you kidding? Like they have all these preconceived notions, which are not really incorrect, right? About leasing a 2,000 square foot office and hiring a secretary and $10,000 a month break even. So we've really turned that upside down and created something for this day and age. And and it's taken off. The top producing agents in the nation are loving it. So we are too.
And I think one of the things that you offer is systems and processes. And that's the biggest, issue with an agent going and starting a new brokerage, is trying to figure out, okay, maybe I'm good at real estate, but might not know all of the ins and outs of owning a brokerage. So it really comes down to what the systems and processes are.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that 50% have no idea what they're getting into if they open a brokerage, and then they get into it and they're like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize what a monster the administration was, and how hard it is to keep up with the technology and lead generation sources and things like that. The other 50% don't get in because they're kind of aware of what it takes and they're afraid of it. So that's what we've done, is we actually created systems to eliminate all that for the agent. So basically, if you're a top producing agent, you could open up a brokerage. Hopefully we don't want it to interfere with your production, just help you build and scale a business now.
Yeah, definitely. So let's just jump right in, because one of the main reasons I wanted to have you here was kind of talk about the real estate market and where you see it going. I know you and I both were around back in 2008 when we saw, everything kind of come crashing down. I ended up closing my brokerage. You stuck through it through the long haul. So where do you see, kind of everything going right now with everything that's going on in the world?
Well, that's a loaded question, and we all wish we had crystal balls. I don't think anybody has a crystal ball, although I do believe that after being in the real estate industry for 37 years myself and studying it very, very hard that whole time that I've been in, I have a pretty good perspective on what's going on. Not to say that I'm brilliant, but I did predict the last crash, and it was, you don't have to be Einstein to figure out when you had school teachers that were buying 10 houses that we were going into a problem, right? So that was obvious that was going to happen. So we prepared for it. We were expecting the crash. It did come, and we actually ended up pretty strong out of it because we were expecting that to happen. You hear so many people talking about today's current market conditions, right? We have low inventory, and and prices have been increasingly getting so high. But you look at the reality, it's we're not where we were. We're not in this bubble that we were in 07 by no means, right? If Danielle, if anybody knows, to buy a home today, you actually need to get a mortgage, you need a job, you need good credit rating. You're not doing what you did back in the crash, right? So we have a very stable market in purchasing. Prices have been escalated. Well, my business partner has some homes in Cape Coral that literally he came out of the red on them from the recession just over the last, 12 to 18 months. So, this big bubble, like he's licking his wound still of all the money he dumped into those houses when he was losing money as rentals. So, I don't see this big, bubble because it's not there because of the fact we're known to have the increases based upon what everybody's comparing it to, the boom back in 07 and 06 is when things crashed. So we're pretty stable as that. Inventory levels, another thing to understand, inventory levels. So why is our inventory levels where they are? It's the fact that nobody's putting their homes in the market. Are you kidding? Last year, we had the biggest sales numbers that we have in years. We're selling a ton of homes. So we have massive inventory coming into the market, but there's also a massive buyer demand because we've fallen behind as far as home purchasing for so many years because of the recession and economic conditions. Even COVID, for goodness sakes, took us way steps back. So we're trying to recover from all that. So all the home buying that's going on right now is this pent up demand. So we have massive inventory. It's coming onto the market, but as fast as it comes onto the market, it's getting purchased. So it's not the fact that, back in the good old days, I think everybody can remember if you've been in real estate, where average sale time in the market for I've been 37 years was typically around 100 days, right? That's how long it took to sell a home. We're not in those times right now, but we are bringing lots of homes in the marketplace. So changing in the markets, what we're predicting that are going to happen, there's no doubt that the war that we're having right now is going to impact us. We have oil prices that are skyrocketing right now, and that's going to affect our entire economy, right? It increases transportation costs, so the cost of goods are going to be increased. So we're going to see somewhat of a cooling off of the marketplace, which is actually probably going to be a good thing, right? We cannot maintain these crazy increases in prices. So we'll start seeing inventory levels leveling out, maybe taking closer to, your normal, 60-day on the market to sell a home, which is, reasonable. We'll see increases more in the 3 to 5% range, which is normal and good for the economy. So I think we'll start seeing a lot more of that. With the war in Ukraine, I think the biggest impact is going to be fuel prices. We just heard our president was just on the news. We're stopping importing fuel from there. So there's things that we can do as an American government, hopefully, that we put into place to offset those prices, because that would be the biggest effect on our economy. On the other hand, we, I hate to say it, and it's not nice, but the fact that war sometimes does stimulate an economy like the American economy, because it increases a job, and of course that we are a big supplier to that war machine. So it helps our economy in some ways like that. So there's no doom and gloom on my crystal ball. In my crystal ball, I see definitely if I don't even think I call it softening, it's just more normal, more normal real estate market happening to us. Time in the market, prices. I don't foresee a decrease in prices. So if you're a buyer and you're sitting on the fence saying, "Well, I'm going to wait because prices are going to go down," I think you better buy now because they won't go up as much, but they're probably still going to go up. Another good thing that might not be bad is the Fed's announced that we were going to have Danielle, let's talk about interest rates, right? We're going to have those big interest rate hikes. Got a feeling those might actually disappear now, right? Because all those interest rates hikes were for is to cool off the economy. We're not going to need to raise interest rates to cool the economy. Yeah. So we're probably going to see those, which again won't be bad for the housing market. So housing market overall, I think, is still going to be strong moving forward. Strong investment opportunity for people. If you need to sell, obviously it's a super good time to sell. If you want to buy, I'd say jump into the market, buy now, because my crystal ball is telling me the prices will increase next year, over the next 12 months, and over the next 24 months, just not as significantly as they've been going over the last 24.
Absolutely. And I think, the benefit for us being here in Florida is a lot of people are wanting to move to Florida. So we're seeing a lot of people move down from up north and things like that. One of the things I want to point out, though, is that even in, let's just say, a recession or a market turn, I know it's scary, but we made a lot of money in the boom, but we also made a lot of money, if not probably more, in the bust, right? Because as long as you can foresee or are always looking for different opportunities and are able to pivot and not just get stuck in whatever you're doing. And this goes for, anybody, but also real estate sales professionals. You always have to be looking for different opportunities when the market changes. Just because it's different doesn't mean it's not necessarily a negative thing. And one of the things that you do is study trends. And I remember when we did this podcast back in November, you were talking about how the last recession, you were following oil prices. And it got me thinking. That's why I was like, I need to talk to Neil to see like what your opinion is now with that, because that was one of the indicators you had mentioned before, that can change the economy.
Absolutely. The last three recessions were stimulated from high oil prices. Last three. So go back over the last almost 30 some years, every recession was stimulated off of fuel prices because it's such a significant part to our economy. Oil affects every single thing we do. So it's going to affect it again, right? The prices are going like this, like crazy. It's absolutely going to affect it. It's a good point that you bring up. As the market slows down, I don't know if we're going to see a recession out of this, because the recession is 3/4 of negative growth, right? That's 9 months of negative growth. And we're going to be in, nobody knows, right? Again, nobody has a crystal ball. This war could be over tomorrow. We have no idea. And it could go on for 10 years. You just don't know. So that being said, whether this is going to put us into a recession, I have my doubts about that personally. That will happen, but also there's great opportunities. So if you're a realtor in this marketplace, there's super good opportunity to be making money. I agree with you. As one of the top agents in both Canada and the United States, I have worked through many recessions, and I, like you, Danielle, as a realtor, I had better opportunity. I made more money during recessions than I did during the booms, and I found the reason why that is during the boom times, like you guys are feeling now as realtors. The consumer, if their aunt, their niece Becky just got a real estate license, they would, deal with her to sell her house.
Right.
A little bit slower. They don't call Becky. They call an experienced agent. So I found that I got busier during those sort of times. So there are a lot of opportunities that realtors can look for to really take advantage if in fact we do have a significant change in the market.
Absolutely. Yeah, it starts to weed out the people that are just in it for the part-time, and really starts to go in on the true professionals that are, that this is their career, whether it's mortgage or real estate or anything within, that realm. In my personal opinion, I do think affordability is going to, because we have seen just last week, Fannie Mae imposed the interest rate hike on second homes. And when I tell you that somebody that I was pre-qualifying went from, being able to get 4.5% on a second home condo is now looking at 5.5%, having to pay $7,000 just to get that interest rate. It was like overnight what just happened. So I know that we are definitely, interest rates are going up. Are they always going to, continue to go up? Who knows? I'm sure they will come back down at some point, but we are going to see, in my personal opinion, more of supply, because it's all about supply and demand. And if the demand is not there as much anymore because of the affordability factor, we are going to start to see more supply on the market, in the marketplace, which is a good thing, right? Because I know so many real estate agents that are like banging their head against the wall, like, how many offers am I going to make? It's just going to kind of normalize everything and make the experience, that much better. In regards to a recession or where I see things going, I have no idea. I can tell you, I definitely did not see, like you did, the turn in 2008. I was in my mid-20s and completely blindsided. So now I'm super cautious, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? You never know, because you don't want to go through that experience again. But even though it was not the best experience from 08 to 09 for me, I can tell you that after 09, when the dust kind of settles and you're like, well, I still got to get up and make things happen, there was more opportunities during that time than there was, before that. So rest assured, there's always going to be opportunity. You just need to look for it, and you have to make sure that you're, pivoting. You don't have the blinders on, just looking at what you're doing right now. So,
right, you're exactly right. I remember a story and this was a good, just saying about pivoting. And every economic time creates an opportunity. So when we went through, and I forget the exact date, but in Southwest Florida on Lee County, our MLS, if the month was, it was December, I forget if it was 06 and 07, must have been 07. We had about 5,000 realtors. And for the month of December, we closed 4 sales. So I was a broker. That was devastating to me. And it scared the beans out of me because I'm saying, oh my God, think about that. 4 sales for the whole MLS. That means nobody was buying houses. And I had, one of my brokerages had over 150 realtors at Sellstate in Fort Myers. So I walked into that office with about, oh my goodness, I had 200 blank white coroplast signs. And I called a meeting and almost every single one of my agents showed up because I said, I'm going to show you how to make some money. So they all showed up and I said, okay, we're going to go into the rental market because everybody was getting kicked out of their houses, moving into rentals. And we took those coroplast signs. I don't know if you remember those days. We put them on every corner, every intersection for rent, 32, blah, 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 blah. There's a phone number. My agents, we stopped selling houses because there were no houses to sell, but we got big time into rentals and they paid their mortgage. They put food on their tables, and it got us to the next step was, trying to figure out foreclosures and, any other ways that we could make money in the economy. And it worked. So this economy is going to do the same. Just be hard, look for innovation, and I'm sure they'll do well.
Well, and one of the quotes Warren Buffett says is be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. And so that kind of, runs in my mind too. It's like, where's everybody going? Do the opposite. But yeah, no, absolutely. There's always going to be opportunity and just kind of watching out for the opportunity. I know that we're in some uncertain times right now, but it too shall pass. Is there anything else that you kind of want to bring up about the economy, or do you think we pretty much covered it all?
Well, I think that, we've covered a lot of it. The only suggestion I can give anybody is, first off is don't be a kind of one race track horse. I see so often that people, they get all of their news from one news source. Right? And you can't do that because we know that I don't care if you watch whatever you watch for your news sources, you're going to get different answers. So one thing is if you're in real estate and you want to know what's going on with the economy, you have to do research, right? So get up early, just do studying because it will help you as you start watching trends. Study trends, follow the greatest trainers, follow the Tom Ferrys and the Buffinis and the Craig Proctors of the world and see what they're doing because they adjust quickly to these trends and may be able to give you some ideas on how to deal with these trends. So like you said, I think, Danielle, you hit it perfectly. Every economy provides opportunity. Right now, today, we are in a very tight market as far as listings go, right? We're a tight inventory. That definitely has created an opportunity. And I've seen some agents that are just killing it, doing so well because of this economy. The majority of realtors that I talk to, and I only talk to the highest producing agents across this country as far as franchising go, unanimously, every single one of them had the best year last year. I shouldn't say there are always the odd exception, but pretty much every single one of them had their highest sales volume ever was last year. We were expecting that this year that we were going to duplicate. Already the numbers being, winding to the end of the first quarter, everybody's numbers are up this year, right? Again, over last year, which was the biggest year ever. So there's still some great opportunity. I think with this possibly a small little hiccup that we're having right now is going to, I hate to say it, but fear creates opportunity, right? So if you're smart, you could actually, realtors right now can use this as an opportunity to really take advantage of what's happening right now and actually have another splendid year.
Absolutely. So go out and get it. Go out and crush it. It's there for you.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to have Neil's info in the video so that if anybody's looking to open up a franchise or wants to connect with him, he's definitely a great source. He does a lot of studying, a lot of following the markets. I definitely value, your expertise and all of that. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And Neil's info is in the video. So if you want more information from him, feel free to reach out. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Danielle. You have an awesome day. Bye-bye.